Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Giant Goofballs, the New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
I'm Rob. Deb already commented.
Only people in Facebook land saw what she commented so far. So, yeah.
I had to call it out.
Yeah, she I believe
she had to put the salt right in the wound and just put a little lime juice over the top of it.
Yeah. And she's close to it, I think. I think she's close.
No, she's spot on.
I had it a little off by one game. What she put.
Yeah.
But we'll get into it now. So welcome everyone to our week 2 pick show here, where we give you guys all of our picks for every NFL game this week. Hopefully you all make some money off that, since I'm in Florida and I can't legally bet. And as Deb's already pointed out in the comments, I am better at this than Rob.
Oh God. One game. And listen, as a Giants fan, boo you.
Listen, I can't help it. I bet.
No, boo you.
Mind.
Boo you.
I bet with my mind, not with my heart. The Giants have never played the Cowboys well.
I'm sorry,
it's the last thing I wanted to see.
Also, a Dallas podcast.
Is this a week 2 pick, or is this a fandom and everything spectacular? We love the Giants no matter what show.
It could be both.
No, it's not. It's a pick show, goddammit. It's a pick show. You'll be happy this week what I did with the Giants, so. All righty. Let's get into the results first from last week. Where are we at, Rob? I'm curious.
Well, Deb, you were very close. She had you 11-5. She had me 10-6. But Drew had 10 wins. I had 9 wins.
Oh, what? Actually, hold on. We never updated that sheet for Monday night. That's why she's saying that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that.
Snap. Oh, snap. That's what it was. Somebody was slacking. Who's supposed to do that? Rob.
Actually, Drew, that was you. That's Drew's spreadsheet. It makes sense, Deb. You're 100% right.
So 38 points they had, so it's the under. So yep. So yeah. So there we go. Now it's accurate, Rob. Go for it.
Drew, you had 11 wins. You had 10 wins against the spread. And then your over-under was, my God, was that 14? Good for
14. You. I got only 2 of them wrong.
And I was 9, 9, and 11. But I had 6 try. I'm getting there. Calm your horses.
They beat you 6 too. Whoop whoop.
Yeah, that's why you're sitting there making sure the comment went around. Last year, when I smoked you, you had nothing to say when I did this.
I don't remember being smoked at all.
When I smoked you, there's a difference. I
am not a cigar, good sir.
Anyway, I had 6 trifectas last week, which means I predicted the win.
To see me. Oh, is that your plunger?
I'm going to get me. Oh, is that 6 trifectas, which means I won. Not who won the game, the spread of the game, and the over/under. But my man Drew over here, you got 8.
Oh yeah,
you took a nice little.
Half of the games I got the winner, the spread, and the over/under. That's Give myself a little pat in the back over there, a little pat in the back. So yeah, guys, if you followed our picks, you won some money. Congrats. We're here helping you out with your all 401k accounts and all. All right, so let's get right into it with this week here. Who we got first, Rob?
We got Thursday Night Football. We got the Vikings going
Thursday
into night. We got the Vikings going to Philadelphia. The Vikings are the 7-point underdogs in this game. And the over-under is 48.5. Senior Drew, who do you got to take in this game?
You know, the Vikings couldn't beat the Bucks. So, yeah, I don't have a lot of hope for them going into Philadelphia at that point. You know, road team already lost to a much worse team than this. So I got the Eagles to win. I got them to cover the spread, and I got the under on the points because I do think Philly is going to be much more of a defensive team this year that's going to try to win close, low-scoring games. So, and I think if there's anybody out there in the NFL that has the secondary to go ahead and contain Justin Jefferson, listen, we don't want to give the Eagles any credit here. We never do. But if we're being realist here, it's the Eagles. That's the one team that has the corners to go ahead and flip-flop them up, keep them both fresh against them, even if they want. So I got the Eagles winning overall, got them beating the spread, and got them going under.
Is that what you took away from the Eagles barely squeaking by a win against the Pats?
Are you saying the Patriots are not a better team right now than the Vikings?
No. I'm saying they're a better team to win this game. I'm not saying they're a better team to win that spread. And I'm going to go with the over.
Ooh.
So we're going to disagree 2 out of 3 on that one.
Difference of opinion. Rob's first loss.
No. We shall see. Listen, everyone said that the Eagles are going to smoke the Patriots. And what happened?
Yeah.
The Eagles made mistakes, and they should have won that game handily, but they did not. Super Bowl hangover right there. All right. Sunday night. Let's Sunday day.
Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. Sunday day.
Don't forget all the afternoon games. You can't just skip all those games.
There's so many of them. With the Packers going into Atlanta. Atlanta is a 1.5 underdogs on your spread over here, Drew. And over-unders 40.5 points. I am taking the Packers to win this game. Atlanta looked better than what I thought in the defense and the offense as well, but there's a little love with those Packers. Those Packers are going to win that game. They're going to cover that spread, and it's going to go into the over.
Yeah, I agree with you on everything, but I mean, except for the fact you said the Falcons looked better than expected last week. They just played the Panthers. It's two teams that are still not so good playing each other. So I think in the end, the Packers, if you go based on the spread at least, keep in mind they were not even favored last week against the Bears. A 1.5 point favorite against the Falcons. Guys, ride the Green Bay train as long as you can, because eventually they're going to realize this team's not bad. And this Jordan Love kid might be good, because you think the Packers know something about quarterbacks? They've only had a good quarterback in this league since the mid-90s.
But I say they're going to be 3 for 3 for 3 decades.
Yeah,
my God.
I mean, we'll still see. The jury's still at 100%. I don't want to crown him the next, in that trifecta there, so to speak. But
that's what I said. Is the jury's still out?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it's a slap in the face. The Falcons are a much worse team than the Packers are. It should be much more than 1.5 point favorite. This is the game that I'm telling you right now. I put all the money on in the world. Go for it. I'm going to feel really stupid if I'm wrong after I said that, but
yeah, well, especially if the line's
because it's somebody else's money I'm telling them to gamble with.
Especially if the line's 1.5, it's just 3. It's 3.5. Like, you start getting there a little questionable. Like, it might be a closer game, but if it's 1.5, take the Packers to win this all day long.
All day long.
Yeah.
All day long.
All day. All right.
All day long.
Coming up next, we got the Vegas Raiders.
The Raiders.
They're going into Buffalo after Buffalo just got embarrassed. The Raiders are 8.5 underdogs in this game, which is absurd.
Yeah.
And the over-under is 47.5. Drew, what's your take on this game?
Let's slap in the face here. I mean, the Bills couldn't even beat the Jets without Aaron Rodgers, as Connor had chimed in already saying, told you. Rodgers wouldn't last.
He
But,
was 3 and out, literally.
yeah, literally bring it out for the count.
Yeah.
But
For the season.
I mean, the Bills will probably win this game because they are the better team than the Raiders still are. But I think the Raiders should be able to hang in with 8.5 points. Like, I'm not saying it's going to be a nail biter, but that's a pretty high spread. In fact, looking at the list, doing a quick glance here, it looks like that's the highest spread all week long. It's not like the Bills are playing, the Cardinals. Like, this is a better team, guys. The Raiders aren't a great team, don't get me wrong, but they're an average team. So to have that kind of spread to me is just insane. And I do have the over on the points.
Well, Drew, if you get that trifecta, so do I. That cancels out. I agree with you 100%. The only thing that kept me from saying possibly the Bills might cover that spread, well, there's nothing that kept the spread. It's just too much. Like the average spread last year, I'm trying to make up something that I can't make up. The average spread last year was like 7.
News.
It was like 8 points last year. So if this game's a blowout, it's because Myers doesn't play, which I assume he's going to play.
If this game's a blowout, I'm shocked. And, honestly, if it is, it's good for the Bills because that's the ones who's going to blow out. The Raiders aren't going to blow out the Bills.
No.
And if they do, oh, my God, the Bills. All right, who we got next?
So next, we got the Ravens going into this silly smart
Since I don't have
birds.
the animations made this week, I'm going to make random sounds.
All right, so Bengals. Where's the
Roar.
Bengals sound? There you go.
Roar.
All right, so you got Baltimore going in.
I didn't know you're looking forward to the sounds that much now that you're like.
All right, so Baltimore's going into the Bengals. Cincy is the 3.5-point favorites in this game. And the over is 46.5. Drew, how you feeling about this game?
I went first last time. It's your turn.
I will definitely go first.
I will not be the anti-gentleman and take your spotlight. You go for it, Rob.
I appreciate
that spotlight. Go with your soliloquy.
Ooh. I'm taking the Ravens to win this game. They do not beat the spread. It's going to be a 3-point game. And I took the under. I think Ravens will win. I think it's another tough divisional game for the Bengals, who are a little beat up, but they played the Ravens pretty darn good the past few years. And I think it's going to be more of a nail biter in the under, more of a defensive game. Granted, Bengals defense didn't show up last week. I blame the rain.
So I think you got a lot more faith in the Bengals than I do potentially, because I am very much on the fence on how to gamble this game here. But we had the same exact answers. I'm kind of hedging my bets for Ravens Bengals as far as spread and wins, doing the Ravens to win, Bengals to beat the spread. But I'm not confident. I wouldn't bet $1 on this game. So the big question is, does Joe Burrow and the offense for the Bengals get back to what they were doing the last couple of years, or is something wrong? I think personally, Joe Burrow may not be fully healthy. He had an injury all preseason. May also be the fact that he didn't practice at all during the preseason. He didn't get in the preseason games. Maybe it's just he's rusty. But am I going to trust that week 2 is when all of a sudden the rust comes off? Nope. Yes, sir. You have a question at the back?
No, I just have a statement. So the Bengals, since Joe Burrow has been there, have been a playoff caliber team every year he's been there, pretty much.
Yes.
Correct, right? They've always started off slow. Look at their first
That's
quarter.
not just slow. 82 yards is beyond slow.
Yes.
He made Daniel Jones look good.
You could say that. You're right. You're not wrong. But
yeah, we didn't have the worst quarterback last week.
But do I think the Ravens have enough to beat Cincy's defense? Do I think that offense has Cincy's offense has more enough to be closer to the Ravens defense? I do. I do, especially. God forbid there's no snowstorm. God forbid there's no like hurricane going through there. Like on
There's a
paper, a
hurricane
good.
coming.
But if the weather holds out right, it should be a close game.
We'll see.
Well, I mean, we both agreed, so we
Yes.
shall see.
Well, but I'm saying point blank that I'm hedging my bets that I wouldn't bet $1 on the same.
Yeah, no, this is one of those division games. It's very hard to bet on.
Some shows will tell everybody, hey, we're not betting on this. We wouldn't bet on this. We're not going to even give you an answer. With no cop outs. We have no cop out rules. There is no going to El Paso, as Harry the Greek would say. This is a show that every single game we're going to give you our picks, whether we're confident in them or not. But we'll tell you if we're not confident, because we don't want you to go ahead and actually bet money on things that we're not confident on. So,
well,
like I said,
the next
game.
The next game coming up, I probably will put some money on. You got the Seahawks going into Detroit.
Caw! Roar. It's the same exact sound effects as the last one. The same exact
pretty much.
We just swapped out birds and cats.
You got the Seahawks as a 6-point favorite.
Yeah.
At a 48.5 point over under. I'm going to take the Lions. I didn't realize I made a mistake in my pick here. I'm taking the Lions all day long.
All day long.
The Lions have proven to themselves. God damn it. That the Lions have proven that they.
What's with the cussing and using the Lord's name in vain here, Rob? This is a family program.
Blame the Seahawks. More reason. More reason. So I'm taking the Lions to win. I'm taking the Lions to beat that spread. And I'm taking the under. Because Gino doesn't look like Gino of last year.
Gino every other year.
Besides last year.
he's got his 50 mil this year. He's good now.
You saw the Aaron Darno clip I sent you. Oh my God.
Yeah. He did not do a good Aaron Donald just crashing upon him last week. I agree with you for the most part. I got the Lions to win and beat the spread. The one thing I don't have is I'm disagreeing with you on the over-under. I think that both teams like to throw the ball, and I think both teams will throw the ball. And that's the only difference I got there. I do think it's going to be an over on the score, but I do think the Lions, as of right now, based on what we saw last week, and again, I'll say what we said last week, the first couple weeks are the hardest weeks to gamble. They really are.
Correct.
Which is just even makes what I did last week even more amazing. But still. But it's like you have 1 week to go. You have guesses based on what you saw in the preseason and what the offseason additions were and that kind of stuff. So the Seahawks on paper are an equal team to the Lions based on before last week. Let's be honest. If it wasn't for that, the Rams beating them and the Lions beating the Chiefs, we'd probably be saying this is a really close match. Who knows who's going to win? It's a toss-up. But we're going based on last week alone. So this is not a game I would put money on. But based on how they played last week, I'm going to sit there and tell you the Lions should beat that spread and the Lions should win easily. The over, that's the one I'm most confident on that game, which is funny because that's the one that you and I disagree on.
Yeah, I did one of these, a flip of a coin, but looking at how much the Seahawks offense put up last week and how much the Lions put up against KC's defense last week, which KC is not known for the defense. They're known for the defense. They're known for the high power offense. So if you put those together, what do you get? 34 points?
Yeah.
That's why I went with the under.
Yeah, like I said, we'll see because you get two bad defenses basically, potentially based on how the Seahawks played last week. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, granted, never count out Sneaky Pete because that guy, he's so sneaky. So sneaky.
All righty. Let's go to the
next game. Hopefully, well,
it's the shit bowl. You can call it the shit bowl.
Yeah,
it's okay.
The shit bowl. I'm sure we're going to agree on this one as well. You got the Colts going into Houston to play the Texans. The Texans are the 1-point favorites in this game.
Texans.
With a 40-point over under.
Yeah.
Granted, it's changed a little. I think I saw on Caesar Sportsbooks it was at 35.5.
Is it that low? This is off of CBS Sports bet lines today is what I pulled off when I did this afternoon. So, yeah, I mean, we talked about this on the show we did on Monday night there. The Colts, I really thought, fought pretty hard in their week 1 loss to the Jags. They really were a much closer team than we thought. The Texans are the Texans. Not to be cruel about it. Until they show otherwise, they're just not a good team. Whereas the Colts were bad last year, but they were bad because they were tanking.
They lost their defensive stud.
So now they got a new rookie quarterback, which is the whole reason they tanked. And I think he didn't look horrible. He looked probably the best of the big 3 that played. Obviously, Will Levis didn't play, so I'm saying the big 3.
He was probably a top 10 quarterback last week.
I don't know if I go that far, but I have to look into the comparisons. I didn't look in that respect. I was looking purely from a rookie standpoint. He looked like the best of the 3 rookies last week.
12,
we'll see what to do for this season. So, yeah, I got the Colts to win. I got the Colts to beat the spread because a 1-point spread, I don't give a damn. When you do 1 point, I'm just going to bet who I think is going to win.
That's pretty much like a freebie.
Yeah. I mean, 40 on the over-under, that's the least confident I am, but I'm going to put over on that because I do think you're going to see a little bit of action there with these 2 rookie quarterbacks trying to, toss the ball around and show each other up a little bit there.
Yeah, I mean, I almost agree with you 100%. I went with the under because I don't have the confidence. I think it's going to be, as sad as this sounds, more of an offensive game than an offensive game. Well, more of a defensive game with bad offensive play to equal the under of 40, which, yeah, pretty bad.
Yeah.
Next up, we got the Chiefs going into Jacksonville, everyone's favorite city in America. Alligators and monkeys just beat each other up. Let's go to Florida.
Oh. I don't know why there's. Listen, if anybody's ever been to Duval, it's really not a nice area. I don't know why they're so proud of their county. You don't see anybody else doing that, like you don't see people in East Rutherford going, Bergen. Is it Bergen County? I don't even know.
Yeah. I have to look at that. Could be exits. No, it can't be exits.
I don't know. Either way, it's ridiculous. Plus, I've been to Jacksonville multiple times, including the game last year. Jacksonville's not a nice area, people. It's not a nice. When you think of Florida, you're not thinking Jacksonville. Let me be the first to assure you of that. You're thinking Tampa Bay. You're thinking, Sarasota,
Disney World,
Naples, Disney. Yeah, you're not thinking that.
Miami.
Yeah, honestly, dude, Miami's overrated as well. But
it really is.
Hold on the topic. Hold on the day. Okay, back to the game. Back to the game.
All right, Chiefs in Jacksonville. The Jags are 3-point favorites in this game, and the over/under is 50.
3-point underdogs.
Yeah, sorry. 3-point underdogs.
Everyone loves an underdog. That's why you call them favorites.
KC's 3-point favorite. The over/under is 51 points. I am taking the Chiefs all day long. Cover this spread.
All day long.
They're going to make up.
I want to keep having me do that. You just do. I'm on to you.
They're going to make up for losing.
We talk about Sunday and Monday night games.
They're going to make up. They're going to make up for losing to the Lions with that Super Bowl hangover, and they're going to go over because I believe these 2 young quarterbacks. Even though, can you call Mahomes a veteran quarterback at this point?
I think you clearly can. I think that's safe to say. He's been in the league long enough.
But has he really? He's 2 years veteran to Lawrence at this point? So these 2 young guys are below 30 are going to throw the ball through the air. I'll say it like that. Young guys because they're 10
young whippersnappers.
These damn hooligans in my lawn are going to throw the ball all over the place.
That's why the NFL refuses to switch everybody over to grass. So no one yells, "Get off my lawn!" Okay,
that's a fair point.
It's exactly it. So who you got in the game here?
I just said I take the Chiefs all day long.
Chiefs all day long.
All day long, they're going to cover. They're going to do everything you got to do, and it's going to be in the over.
I'm agreeing with you 100%. Very
See?
simple.
That was easy enough.
See?
Good up next. Let's talk about a slot. Boop. That was easy.
Boop.
Going on next, you got the Bears. Got Bears.
Bears.
Going into your neck of the woods over there playing the Buccaneers.
The Buccaneers. Yarg.
Yarg. The Bears.
The Bears.
Under 3-point underdogs here. At 41.5 with the over-under. Drew, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Thank you for asking. How are you feeling, Rob?
I mean, I could stretch a little bit more. My back's kind of tight.
So, I said all along, and some people said I was crazy. Most of them are Bears fans. That the Bears won the offseason. And the team that wins the offseason tends to lose the regular season. That's history has shown that repetitively year after year. You can't just get a lot of cap space and go ahead and overnight build your team back up. It doesn't work. It doesn't. So I have the Bucs actually winning, which is crazy because no one thought they'd win last week. And I think they go potentially 2-0 or a team that everybody thought would be horrible. I still think they'll end up horrible before the year's up, but I think this is not the game they get exposed. I have them beating the spread. I have the under on the points because I don't think either team is going to score a ton of points. Baker Mayfield's hit or miss. Every so often he goes off. And then you got, of course, the Bears just never really been a high-scoring team in general in Justin Fields' tenure there. So, except a little bit of stretch last year. So I'm going to go with the Bucs all day long in this one. I'm pretty confident in this one, actually, which is weird to say. I'm confident in the Bucs.
It's weird to say, but I'm almost with you, and I disagree in one thing that you're not going to expect. I took the push.
Oh.
I think it's going to be a close enough game.
You think the Bears will win by...
You
think the Bucs will win by a field goal, you're thinking?
Yeah.
That's a ballsy move.
We'll find out if it works, Cotton.
Ballsy.
Up next, we got the Chargers.
Hold on. Before we go next, we've reached the halfway point.
Oh,
we got to go through the comments. That means we got to go through all the comments. Plus, we got to pay the bills. Deb says I have week one down. We already went over her comment there. She was close. We went over Connors. Let's see here. Angelo says I have to ask. Do you think Danny Dimes is still our guy? I think his contract says he definitely is. Hopefully he proves worthy of that contract. But yeah. He says, I think everyone sucked, but the quarterback carries the team. So what next game we win against a bullshit team, Cardinals, if we're lucky? Here's the thing, though. Again, we talked about this in the post-game show after calming down for a little bit there. You can't sit there and blame Daniel Jones that he had no time in the pocket whatsoever. He couldn't do a damn thing. He had 3 guys running after him. I don't think anybody would succeed with that line. So that's not to say he couldn't have done a better job than he did. I think he could have done better. I mean, he got a couple interceptions and that kind of stuff there. But yeah, you can't put it all on him, man. You can't. No. Connor says, wonder how the Jets will do against Cowpukes. We're going to get to that game in a little bit there. So we will give you our thoughts on that. He also says, no animations or CGI. This show is going in the crapper. Damn straight. You know what, Connor? Budget got cut this week because of the buymeacoffee.com.
Yeah. But if you would like.
No, honestly, the animations and that kind of stuff that I do is when I have time to do it. My job's been a little crazy this whole week. So Angela says, who do we get rid of first? What do we need to do to move on and play better? We don't get rid of anybody after 1 week, Angela. That's an overreaction. Don't get me wrong. That was a horrendous, embarrassing game. I cannot say that enough. But you don't get rid of anybody after 1 week. What happens if all of a sudden we beat the Cardinals as most people will expect us to do? I don't think that's me giving anything away since we haven't gotten to that game yet. When What if we have to beat them and all of a sudden, let's say we shock the world and beat the Niners. Now we're 2-1, and people are saying, "Oh, that was a fluke game." You can't give up after 1 week.
Or even to say like you blow out the Niners and it's 49-2. I don't want to say 2. It's 49-3. You're like, oh my God, look how great the Giants played. Look how good they did. And then they just played competitively against the Niners. You're still in the same boat.
Yeah. Like I said, let's not go too crazy off one game. Connor says, actually bet OBJ. Thought he'd show off coming back. The rookie did better. Thought he'd score last week and he didn't shake my head. I want to say smack my head on that.
Well, you should smack your head on that one. We've talked about that in nauseam.
I know. I stopped myself. Oh, you mean to smack my head, shake my head? What you're talking about? Yeah.
I'm telling Connor, you should have smacked his head instead of shake his head.
You should. We were very high on Zay Flowers coming out, and he did exactly what we expected. He balled out and had a very good game. He said, "Think Bengals scored." Willie, what's up? Willie says Atlanta over Green Bay. I have a lot of family in Atlanta, so I think they'd be very happy if that happened. But I don't see that happening at all. Connor says you guys belong to FanDuel or DraftKings, etc. I'm in Florida, so yeah.
But if they want to pay us, sure.
Yeah, hey, listen, they want to pay us. They can just email us at 2giantgoofballs@mail.com. We're happy to do a sponsorship with them.
BetMGM and Caesar Sportsbooks, same thing. Go ahead, pay us.
And then Connor then goes on a rant about Scientology, but we're not going to get no politics, no religion. That's the rule.
It's the rules.
Raphael says, "Hello, fellas. How's it going, Drew and Rob?" And then says, "You still alive after last Sunday? Ouch, but Giants have a good chance to beat the Cardinals." Wow. That's still alive. It's one game, man. It's one game. It's only one game. And it could be worse. We could be Raiders fans. Oh,
snap.
I gotta take that shot always. We don't have Josh McDaniels at least, so we'll be fine. Connor says, "Good for Baker Mayfield winning when they said he wouldn't." He says maybe we should ask the teams, better teams, advice on getting O-line guys. They seem not to have our problem. Yeah. He says that one interception was on Barkley, not on Jones. I don't care what the stats say. That's bullshit. We got her fired up here. Yeah,
that's a hot beat right there.
I'm going based on just the stats alone. I don't disagree with you whatsoever, but I wasn't getting into the part of that. But
yeah,
the other one he should have just gone outside and not try to throw it away. And again, he didn't get much going over the game. I get it. The line is an issue, but I'm still going to say it's probably a combination of both, more on the line, but he's still going to take some of the blame on that overall. All right, let's get back to the games here. After, of course.
What?
You got to pay the bills.
Ooh.
Enjoying the show? Looking for more goofball action? Consider a membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Memberships start at just $5 and give you additional goofball access. One-time support payments also available starting at just $3. buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.
Ready. Back to you, Rob.
Back to me. All right. Drew, are we on the Chargers game?
We're on the Chargers and Titans.
Oh, Chargers going to Tennessee. There we go. Boop, bup, bup, bup. The Titans are giving up 3 points in this game. Well, they're favored 3 points.
They're being given 3 points.
I don't like the way you wrote this out, Drew. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh yeah, blame me.
I'm going to blame you. So
let's say
this again, right? The Chargers are going into Tennessee. The Chargers are 3-point favorites playing away, and the over-under is 45.5 points. Drew?
Yeah. This should be an easy one, guys. I can't believe the Chargers are only giving up 3 points in this whole thing after the way they just went head to head and totally just went crazy with the Dolphins last week. I got the Chargers winning this very easily. The Titans did not look good as we expected. Tannehill tried to throw the ball down the field last week when he didn't even have to and couldn't. Now he's going to have to. He's going to have to compete with Herbert and the Chargers offense. So, yeah, Chargers all day long, winning, covering the spread, over on the points. I do think the Chargers are going to just totally ball out. I think they go crazy.
See, Drew, I'm going to tell you why this line's so close. You see how close that game the Titans played against the Saints last week? You see how close that win was against Miami last week? Yeah, that's why there's only a 3-point spread. But
are you telling me the Saints are as good as the Dolphins?
So what I'm trying to tell you is the Chargers are about to blow out Tennessee. That's why the line is at that. But the over-under, bet the over on this game. Bet the Chargers to win. Go for the trifecta with Drew and I on this one because, God, Titans did not look good. They're forcing the ball downfield, just like Drew was saying. Tannehill's got a new weapon downfield. He was trying to play with too much. There's always against that. But
he's also lost a lot of his offensive line. That hasn't been talked about enough.
And didn't one of those guys get injured last week?
He's lost 3 of his offensive linemen, though, in this past offseason, before that even.
Pretty sure.
I think as a Giant fan, we can speak to what happens when you can't protect the quarterback.
Yeah, and even Henry didn't look that good. Granted, I would love to see Henry look great against this defense that is not that good because I have Henry on one of my fantasy teams. But that's besides the point. Anyway, moving on. March right along. Moving on up to our game. Drew, we can't talk too much about this because there's podcast tomorrow.
We're going to do exactly what we do usually. We're going to tell people that if they want to hear more about the game that for the Giants and the Cardinals, they can tune in tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right before the Thursday night game kicks off. And we're going to go over that game for you guys live here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and, of course, Rob's favorite, my LinkedIn profile. Oh, yes.
But my picks in this game, tell you real fast, and that's what it's going to be, is Giants over.
Yeah, I'm with you as well. Giants over.
Boom. Next game, Drew. Let's go right into it. The Niners going into the LA to play the Rams. The Rams.
Can't dodge it, ram it.
Well, those Rams are giving up 8 points against the Niners over here with a 44.5 over-under. Drew, what's your thoughts?
So the biggest thing I'm curious about in this game is I want to see what, newly crowned rookie, amazing wide receiver Puka Nacua does against the Niners. That's going to be an interesting matchup. Let's see if this kid's real or not, because there's a lot of young corners in Seattle. They're very talented, but they're very young. So sometimes you can get away with stuff against the others that you can't get against the veterans. So I want to see what he does there.
Seattle or Frisco?
No, I'm saying Seattle has young corners that you can have them make mistakes.
Well, this game is about the San Francisco 49ers.
I'm talking about Puka Nacua, though, what he did last week against the Seahawks. So this time he's playing against a more experienced level of corner. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm curious what he does against the Niners that are a better defense than the Seattle Seahawks. Let's find out how legit he really is. But I do think the 49ers will win the game. I think people because this is the second largest spread, 8 points here. And I think that a lot of that is because of how bad the Steelers played last week against the Niners. Now, the Niners are a very good team. Do not get me wrong. But
I'll get you wrong.
But same as we talk about what happened with us and the Cowboys, it's as much on us playing like crap as it was the Cowboys playing very well. Same exact thing. That was a result as the Steelers playing like crap, just as much as it was a result of the San Francisco 49ers playing well. So I don't think that's a normal thing to expect. I do think the Rams are going to cover the spread. I think they'll lose by a touchdown, which would be enough to do it. And I do think that you're going to have the under on the points overall because of the fact that the Niners are just that good of a defense.
Drew, I've told you this before. You're crazy.
Oh, I am.
But I agree with your craziness 100% on this.
Woo!
I agree with a lot of what you said. Not 100%. I think the Rams are a better team this year than they were last year. Everyone forgets 2 years ago, they won their Super Bowl. They were a Super Bowl caliber team. They had a terrible hangover, a lot of injuries, and some staff changes.
Speaking of hangovers, I just discovered something. I didn't get a hangover from it, but I'm thinking alcohol now. This is I had never heard of this till last night. Did you know there's a green tea shot now?
Yeah, dude, you're old. That's like 10 years old.
I'm sorry, I never heard of this thing before. I'm old.
Yeah, it's Jameson with pickle juice.
No, it's not pickle juice. It's peach schnapps, apparently.
Oh,
and
yeah, you're right. You're right.
And something else.
You don't have to
taste
put
like green tea.
Oh, what are you doing down there? It's just supposed to be a little bit of a schnapps in there.
There's Sprite apparently too. I don't know. I didn't make it.
Yeah.
I didn't watch them make it. I just Googled it to see what it was. I just had it for the first time last night. I'm saying.
I'm mistaken. Pickleback is Jameson and pickle juice. But yes, the drink you're talking about is supposed to be a little bit of peach schnapps. Supposed to be 2/3 Jameson, 1/3 peach schnapps.
I was kind of shocked that an alcoholic beverage tasted just like green tea, like Arizona green tea, not like the herbal stuff you get at an actual authentic place. Like Arizona
like fake sugar.
Yeah, exactly. Side note. Got to bring it up. Anyway.
Yeah, I love the fake sugar. But
Splenda's my friend.
Yeah.
Splendid. We lost you. You muted yourself, Rob.
I got so excited about this game, I forgot all about it. The big West Coast game. I have confidence that the Niners will pull this out. It is a big spread. And the Rams defense did show up last week. And they're playing like not to the caliber, but similar to where they were 2 years ago. And I do believe they will lose by a touchdown against the Niners in the under. So, Drew, we agree.
All righty.
On to the next one. The Aaron Rodgers-less Jets are going to go play the Cowboys in Dallas. The Jets, they're taken by 7.5 points.
When you're a Jet, you lose quarterbacks in the very first drive.
3 and out. That's how you go. But yeah, the Cowboys.
Nobody thought this would turn into a musical. Probably you should have known better, people.
God damn it. Anyway,
we're probably the only like NFL podcast out there that references musicals on like a regular basis. By the way,
so guys, if you haven't subscribed and followed yet, there's Drew and I's podcast about the NFL, which is strictly in Broadway.
Yes.
That's a lie. Maybe. Anyway, the Cowboys are.
We have our other podcast, Two Giant Dancers.
Yeah. Anyway, the Cowboys are 7.5 point favorites in this game, and the over/under is 42. My God, it's my turn to talk about this.
Go for it.
I don't want to talk about this game. The boys are going to win. The Cow Pukes are going to win. Jets, I think, will play defensively good enough to be in this game. They're going to lose it by a touchdown. So the Jets will cover the spread in the over.
Yeah. I think that we're pretty close in this for the most part. I have the Cowboys winning again, sadly. I have the Cowboys, though, actually covering the spread. I do think this is going to be the meltdown game, I think, for the Jet fans, where they go, oh, my God, we need a quarterback. Because Zach Wilson is just not good, folks. He's not. And I know he did just enough to defeat the Bills. But we talked about this before on the show. I think this is the year the Bills start going downward a little bit. I think that window is kind of
Yeah.
closing for them. I think after this game, I think what's going to happen is I think the Jets will make a call.
Tom Brady?
No, I don't think Tom Brady's coming out of retirement. I really don't. And I think if he was to come out of retirement, not to a team, he had to face Bill Belichick twice a year. I don't think he would go with that.
That was a joke. He's not.
But people are talking about it. People are talking about it.
Michael Shannon talk about it so much.
I think you're right there. You're choking on your drink there. I think the guy that they make the call to, while he's not a stellar quarterback, he very well could be a better quarterback than what they have in Zach Wilson, and that's Carson Wentz, who's still available. By all accounts, what I've been hearing, he's been staying here in the Tampa Bay area, working out with John Gruden. You know, John Gruden, say what you want about him, not necessarily the nicest guy in the world, but the guy knows quarterbacks. The guy knows offenses. So he's in good hands right now. And again, he's much better, I think, than Zach Wilson is. Again, is he Aaron Rodgers caliber? Of course not. But he's at least an average quarterback, whereas Zach Wilson is a below average quarterback.
Who else might Joe better with that offensive coordinator compared to Zach Wilson?
You never know. Plus, bonus. I don't know what Carson Wentz's mom looks like, but if she's decent looking, there's a bonus for Zach Wilson there.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win-win.
I mean, the only downfall is going to be winter, and his mom's got to be dressed in it.
I got Cowboys. I got Cowboys covering, and I got over on the points because I do think they're going to beat them up pretty badly.
We almost agree. I actually, like I said, I took the Jets to win. I think that defense is going to shock a lot of people this year. I think they're a top 3, top 5 defense.
The Chargers defense is the one who shocks people. Don't you know the logos?
Oh, geez. Anyway, next, we got the Commanders going to Colorado to play the Broncos. DC is 3.5-point underdogs in this one.
I root for Marvel.
I didn't say the DCEU. I said the DC. Anyway, the over
I hated
under
that Black Adam movie.
You and everyone that's not a Rock fan. The over under is 39 points. Drew, how do you feel about this game?
Oh my God.
How do you feel about James Gunn taking over the DC?
Listen, if he can do Guardians of the Galaxy type movies, I'm all down for it. That guy's a genius. So yeah, this is like one of those games that you got two teams with very good offenses. Very good defenses.
Yes.
And very bad offenses. So I look at the weaknesses and go, who's weaker on offense? The Commanders have really good receivers. I don't think they have a quarterback still. I'm not a Sam Howell guy. I have not been until he proves me otherwise.
Wouldn't be able to tell that.
Russell Wilson didn't play good last year. Didn't necessarily play good last week, but he played efficiently. He was getting that West Coast, like 70% completion percentage, short passes kind of thing going. That might be enough to beat the Commanders. Because the Commanders, again, I'm not buying the Sam Howell. So I got the Broncos to win. 3.5 points is not enough for me to change my answer on who's going to win on the spread. So I'm going to keep it the Broncos there. 39 points. This is the over-under thing. Is the last thing I would ever put money on this game. I have a rule that typically if it goes under 40, I'm going to bet the over. Because most games will have 40 points or more. But these offenses are both so inept that who knows? So I'm going to still bet the over, but I'm not confident in that.
I like your analysis. I really do.
I
agree with you a third of the way.
Oh.
Because I do agree the Broncos will pull out this game. I do believe the Broncos have better coaching. They have the better quarterback.
You know what I believe?
That being said, I don't believe that the quarterback is that much better on the other team. Well, that much less than the other team. I think it's a defensive game that the Broncos will win. I think they're going to win by 3, which leaves the Commanders to beat that spread. And we're going to go with the under because I feel like it's going to be one of those.
Oh, it very well could be.
I feel like it's going to be one of those 20-17, one of those 17-14 games, 17-10 games. It's going to be like one of those very hard defensively won games.
Yes. So
Just look at, like, when you talk about the West Coast offense, look what happened to the Commanders last week. They won with a 36 spread.
They won because they were playing a crappy team.
Once again, West Coast offense, crappy team. Just saying.
All right.
Anyway,
Next up.
Sunday night. Sunday night.
Sunday night.
You got the Dolphins going to Foxborough.
What does the Foxborough say?
What happens will happen. I'm Bill Belichick. The Patriots are 2.5-point underdogs. The over-under is 47.5. How you feeling? Oh, it's my turn.
It's your turn. It's your turn. I'm not going to steal your thunder.
Oh, here's the thunder, because Dolphins don't normally win in a thunder, but they're going to win in this thunder. It's going to be a closer game than what's. I don't know where we're going with this. Come on, man. We're making it BS as we go. But Dolphins wins. Dolphins will cover. They're probably going to win by 7, and it's going into the over. Don't count out Bill Belichick not to keep this close. It's going to be one of those games. It's going to be like 30 to like 24, like 27-24. They'll get that over, and the Dolphins will cover.
So I got the Dolphins winning overall. I got them covering. I got the over on the points. We agree 100% across the board, but I do think that it's going to be not a close game at all. I just think that the Patriots don't have the firepower to compete with Miami right now. The only saving grace they have is the fact that the Dolphins defense is not as good as the Patriots, which is going to make them look a little better than they actually are. Yes, Rob, do you have a question? I don't know why you're raising your hand. Just come on, chime on in. You're a co-host, not a student.
I'm just trying to be polite here.
It's about time.
Do we not see what the Patriots did against the Eagles last week, who is a high caliber offense?
For 20 points?
They scored 20 points against a high power offense who kept that offense to 25, by the way. And that defense kept the Eagles to 25. Just saying.
You're assuming that I think the Eagles are still very good. I said point blank, I think they got to kind of exposed to being that close potentially. They play like that the rest of the season. They're not nearly as good as they were last year.
Nope, but they're still a good team.
Good, yes, but not great.
But are you saying that you said that the Patriots are not a great team or a good team?
No, I think
saying.
the Patriots are an average team.
I think you never count out Bill Belichick, especially against a divisional rival.
We'll see.
We shall see.
We shall see.
Let's talk about Monday Night Football.
Monday night.
Night. Saints.
We got a double header, by the way. That's a little interesting.
Do.
Why do it this week instead of last week?
It's normally in the first week of football.
Right? It's a little weird. It's a little weird. Weird flex, NFL.
Yeah,
Roger Goodell, what are you doing?
Especially since it's not like an East Coast, West Coast kind of thing. It's like an East Coast Central.
East side, West side. Whoop.
It's like a Central. It's like East Coast Central thing. Normally, it's
actually,
East Coast, West Coast.
Is Pittsburgh Central? Yeah, Pittsburgh would be Central, I guess, because that's the second game. Yeah. I mean,
so
East Coast, West Coast makes more sense because the late game then is like it's not a big deal. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not staying up to 1 o'clock in the morning to watch football.
I am.
I'll be in bed.
But that's why I win the. That's why I win the picks games here.
Don't worry, I'll watch the recaps at 5 o'clock in the morning.
I got the red zone now. I can do whatever I want. I got the red zone, the Sunday
Just
ticket, and all that stuff.
You and your YouTube, whatever.
YouTube TV, dude. I gotta say that was a pain in the freaking butt setting it up. So I waited till like right before the game started to do it. I thought it'd take 2 seconds, pop the credit card in, and call it a day. No, it's like a whole process because I have an old address still on there, and apparently you can't in Jersey do payments on it, whereas a lot of the states you can. Jersey specifically, for some reason, you can't. Like 5 of them you couldn't. And I'm like, whatever. I'm not going to pay it all at once. Then I'll put it in payments. Then in that case, if you're not going to charge me interest, what the hell, you know? So changed my address, do it all. Took forever. I had to call customer service for Google, which, by the way, not very good customer service. Not very good customer service. I'm like, I'm missing the game, so you can take my damn credit card, take my money. Oh no, you have to do it online. Like that's such a Google thing. Like you're here, I'm here, my credit card's here. Take my damn money.
Brutal.
Pretend I'm 70. Take my money over the phone.
You done, whippersnapper?
Anyway, back to the game.
You got this Monday Night Football. You got Saints going into Carolina to play the Panthers. Panthers are a 3-point underdog on this one. Or, yes.
Yes, you had it right.
The over-runner is 40. Drew.
Yeah. I'm very torn of this game, I gotta say, because I like the Panthers overall for the season to get better as things progress because they got a young quarterback, they got some new pieces there, except for Mingo John, if you're listening, because I knew he'll say Mingo. But see, Connor does it instead for him. But I do think that the Saints are going to win. I'm hedging my bets on this and putting the Panthers to win the spread. I wouldn't place money on this game, though, overall. I have the over on the points. And again, I wouldn't even do with that. That's a toss-up game, dude. I think it's going to take the first 4 weeks or so till we figure out some of these teams and what they are. And the Panthers are one of those teams that we don't know what they are yet. And anytime I'd have an unknown commodity, especially at quarterback, I'm not putting my money down.
Yeah, both those teams I feel the same way about. But I disagree with you because I took the Saints to win in the trifecta. I think they win, they cover the spread, and I think they win in the over.
We agree 2 out of 3.
I agree with you a lot, just not all the way.
Don't be sad. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Going to have some meatloaf now. Anyway, the second Monday night game, you get the Browns going into Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. The Steelers are giving up 2 points in this game with the over-under, once again, at 40.
It's like they didn't even watch the first week.
I am taking the Browns to win this game, to cover that spread, because they're probably going to win by 3 or 4. I'm going with the over.
Honestly, this is another one of those games. I'm not sold on the Browns yet.
I'm not really either, but I'm not sold on the Steelers from last year.
Oh my God. After last week, I can't be sold on them at all. So it's like, do I trust they're going to do something different? But I also love Mike Tomlin as a coach. Like, this guy is just a freaking genius. I think he'll right the ship eventually.
In the second half of the year, not the first half.
That's what he did last year.
100%.
I have the Browns to win. I have them to cover the spread. I have the over on the points because, again, the Browns played much better against a better opponent. They both had better opponents. They both had pretty good teams between the Bengals and the Niners. They're both top 5 teams in the NFL right now. But the Browns did their thing and won. The Saints got manhandled. The Steelers got manhandled. So I'm going to go with the Browns because I have to go based on that last week.
Yeah, I agree. So we agree on that. So, Drew, it's going to be another interesting week. We got a lot of agrees, a lot of disagrees, a lot of different trifectas.
As usual there. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the comment pool here. Let's dive on in.
Be right back.
Okay. Connor says, I'd be like Dr. McCoy in Star Trek. I'll pay real money to shut that cup of coffee guy's voice up. We got to pay the bills, Connor. Gerald chimes in, but I can't put your comment up, Gerald. We got a rule. If you're saying positive, like yay, whatever blank team, we don't put it up. We don't put it up. It's a giant podcast here. Connor says Derrick Henry, Saquon, Josh Jacobs, no score, but Bijan Atlanta did. Yeah, Bijan didn't look that good in his first game. Like the highlights, if you looked at just that, you say yes, but it was like he had 2 or 3 decent plays, and the rest of them, yeah, not so good. We'll see what he does. Obviously, it's one game. Connor also says if we lose to the Cardinals, I will lose my effing mind. Yeah, I think we all will. He also says, would Rams trade Stafford to the Jets? I don't think so. I don't think he wants to go anywhere personally, and he's making a ton of money. And I don't know if the Jets can fit like that. I think Carson Wentz is the option. Smitty said, nah, Niners beat that ass. Again, Steelers had no chance. Again, you don't win with that kind of wide margin without doing things right and the other team doing things wrong. That's just life. Connor says Najee didn't score either. Forgot him. And then says, how many yards will Hodgson get for Vikings? Need to know for bet. And will he score? Hawkinson, you mean? Yeah, that's I don't bet on players like that very typically because that's you never know, man. I always say avoid the player bets for the most part, unless it's an obvious one. Like last year, we were doing bets on Darius Slayton because they kept on having his yard total way too low for what he was doing. Deb says, I have never heard Tommy G sing. Let me tell you, Deb, if you haven't heard Tommy G sing, this man is like Frank freaking Sinatra, okay? Lounge singer, 100%. Spectacular. I don't know whether if he sings or not. Connor says, Roberto, your dance moves are unbelievable. And he stepped out from it. He didn't even hear it, Connor. He didn't want to stay here for the compliment. He says, I like to see them get Kaepernick so we can stop hearing about him saying he can still play. He hasn't played in like 10 years. He's not gonna play. You missed it, Rob. He was saying, Connor says that your dance moves are unbelievable. Then he says, I love the Grootster. Angela's back, says, I'm back. Did you answer? We did answer, and you missed it. You missed the answer. We said basically can't blame it on one person and can't make any changes after 1 week. You got to wait. I think there's Connor with the Mingo. Rafael Capitan says, Steelers are doomed from the beginning. They have no chance. Yeah, in that game they didn't. But again, you don't play that. You don't have that kind of domination without the one team doing really good and the one team doing really bad. You can't put it just the Niners. So, all righty, guys. We will be back here again for you guys. Again, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to go over the preview of the Giants-Cardinals game here. So prepare in the Isaiah Simmons revenge game because that's going to be a fun part of this that I haven't heard a lot of people talking about yet. Isaiah Simmons is chomping at the goddamn bit to go after his former team. I would be, especially because it's a new coaching staff and everything. A lot of the faces he played with are gone, so it's not like he has to worry about beating on friends too much there. So again, we will be back here again Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Right before the game kicks off, so you don't miss anything. Hopefully, or just maybe a little bit at the beginning of the game. Opening kickoff's boring anyway. You're good.
You got the 15-minute rule anyway.
Yeah. Well, you figured I think kickoff is like 8:20. That's why we always do it that way. So we'll be back on again on always Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Rob's favorite, my LinkedIn profile. And of course, the next day we're always available on every audio podcast platform known to man: Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, all these different ones I haven't even heard of. So again, subscribe, like, follow, hit the bell on YouTube. That's the best one to give you notifications when we go live. Really, is YouTube. YouTube does have the best platform for videos. I got to say, not to tick off other people's algorithm at that point. Yeah, I can see the people at Twitter X right now going, he just talked good about YouTube. We're gonna have to downgrade his status. I don't know why I do the every 2 seconds, but All right, guys. We will see you again tomorrow night here, hopefully to talk about what should be hopefully a very good game for the Giants here. As always, Giant fans. Go G-Man! Go G-Man! G-Man.
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 Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support. If you made it this long, you must have enjoyed it. So I am sure you have followed us on all the social media platforms. Of course, you have subscribed to the show on your favorite app as well and given us a top rating. Right? Right? Right?
Thank you to those who have signed up for our silver gold levels of membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.